Hey, this is Swampgrass from The Swamp on Twitch at Swampgrass420, and you are listening to the year-end edition of the Escape Pod cast. This show was pre-recorded but made with the same love as the live shows. My favorite thing about the past year in Galaxy of Heroes was the change in Crystal Economy, making Grand Arena great again. Also, some of the new characters who I can't wait to be farmable so I can play with them in the future. Thanks for tuning in. Take it away, boys!
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this year-end edition of the Escape Pod cast.
It might be on tape, but this was recorded as close to showtime as possible.
This is not your normal episode of the show, as some of our great creator friends have all chipped in to make this a season finale to remember.
150 weeks of content.
151 episodes.
Countless never ages and Paul snaps.
Plenty of live blunders and lots of friendship.
5 seasons you have helmed this pod, Paul.
But you know what, Neil? I couldn't have asked for a better co-host, community, or a group of supporters.
We will talk about our cheers and jeers of the past year.
Some things may surprise you, but most probably won't.
Then Thad will break down everything that happened in the past year on Storytime.
And Nev and I will sit down with Sep from SWGOH.GG and Taliana from 50 Shards of KAM to discuss the life and numbers of our game in the past year.
And our season finale is packed with Easter eggs and extended cuts of Helle and The N00B,
with an announcement of that show's future right at the end.
Happy New Year, everybody.
From us at the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the season finale of the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, The Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It has been a great past 2 weeks. Got a little work done in between of, you know, all the festivities for the holiday. I really like, Neil, that the end of the year has lined up with the season finale. I think this is one of the best parts of this season of the Escape Podcast. And good to see Lizzie Jonko joining us to greetings, my old friends. Yes, Lizzie, greetings indeed. Our friend back from Creator Cup 1, who she was on our team during the poker game. You remember, Lizzie?
Yes, the name rings a bell. It's definitely a blast from the past.
So, lots of fun stuff coming up today. The interview is pre-recorded. We're only doing an opening segment because the finale, the produced finale, is an extended version of Helle and The N00B and a little bit of a story. You know, we do a radio drama. For those who aren't familiar, we normally do a radio drama for the final episode, for the final segment of the final episode of every season. This time around, it's a little bit extended. We hope you'll enjoy that. And thank you for the 2 shiny nickels, as Hellenics would say, in bits. Let's get into it, Neil. I mean, we only have, another 20 minutes before we have to pass this on to the rest of the show. Let's look back at 2021. Nothing new came out this week. Nothing, no groundbreaking news. So it's a review show. So in review, in 2021, Neil, you dropped 3 accounts and picked up 2. Am I?
Yeah, I dropped. I dropped 3 and picked up 2 because way, I think it was like way back at the beginning of the year. I was on my quad Kyber pump. I was trying to be the first person to get Kyber 4 times in a row on 4 separate accounts, and it nearly killed me. It nearly destroyed me. So that was, that came to an end literally at the end of the year. And then I just once I did that, I stuck with my main, reduced it down to 3 accounts, but the other 2 alt accounts I just played casually. And then I dropped all of them, except for my main, probably around about the middle of the year. It was close to around the middle of the year. And
we'll get into why in a moment.
And we'll get into why. And then towards, obviously, back towards the end of the year, I then picked back up again. I picked back up 2 alt accounts. One of the previous ones that I dropped, and a new alt account because it was high GP with, it was somebody retiring from the game, giving up the game. But they wanted their account to stay in the guild. So they wanted somebody to, effectively take custody of the account so that it would stay in the guilds. So we had 3 people in our guild all retire in the same week. But fortunately, there was 3 people in the guild. So those 3 accounts were all taken over by 3 existing members of the guild so that those decent chunky accounts wouldn't, disappear and go elsewhere. So, I went from at the beginning of the year having 4 to dropping 1, then to dropping all 3, and then to coming back and picking up. So it's been a bit of a weird year for me for accounts.
So the high GP account, Neil, I mean, we all know that you are the GAC guy.
Yeah.
Of this show. What has been your experience? Because now you've had two weeks in. I want to know, what has been your experience in the land of the big numbers?
Well, it's been fun. It's been different. It has been different. So 3 accounts. So I'm effectively playing in 3 different areas. So I've got a high-end Kyber account, a low-end Kyber account, and a kind of like middling Erodium account. The weird thing is, every single week has been 2-1 on all 3 accounts. It's just, that's just the way it is. It's not easy. It's not like it hasn't been a breeze for all 3 accounts on each of the 2 weeks. There's always been, stumbling blocks. The biggest stumbling block for my big account is the Executor. So it's a 3GL account, but it doesn't have the Executor yet. It will soon, but it doesn't have it yet. So I always lose when I'm up against someone with a 7-star Executor on that account. And my middle account doesn't really face, I only faced my first Executor this week. So in the first 2 weeks, didn't face a single Executor. And I actually lost to the weak. The 2 times I lost in those 2 weeks were to people with the weaker accounts in the group. Actually, no, the first one I lost to a 3GL account. The second week, I beat the 2 people with more GLs than me and lost to the person with the same amount of GLs as me. So, that was just weird. And then the Erodium account doesn't have any GLs on it. And it's almost been like regular GAC for that account, because I always get put in groups with other people that do not have GLs. So that Erodium 3 account, it's been just getting, regular. I lost to somebody with, I've just been losing to people with the Executor, which is kind of weird, no GLs,
no GL, but having Executor.
No GLs, but it's got a 4-star Executor in there.
So we all know that my wife picked up Galaxy of Heroes 6 months ago. Because of the bounty honeys and their charity streams that they were doing. And she has gone, I believe, 3-3 over the past 6 rounds.
Oh, nice one.
And she believes she just got. She's in Erodium 4.
Erodium 4.
Or no, not Erodium 4. Chromium 4.
Chromium 4. Okay.
Carbonite. Jeez, my mind is going crazy. She's in the
She's
bottom.
gone through 3 leagues. So which one is she in? She's in the
It's
very bottom
Carbonite.
league.
She has
Carbonite.
she just started. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
No, there will be no wooden spoon. I will die before I get a wooden spoon. I would go full FU against an opponent if I lost round 1 and round 2, I would go full FU on defense in round 3 to make sure that my opponent didn't get a single territory, and I would just save enough to take out 1 territory. I will never, ever get a wooden spoon, Mr. Jigabachi. It's not coming for me. I am going to be there's a term with regards to GAC. I am going to be the ultimate gray man. Now, in military, the gray man is the person that goes by completely unnoticed. Nobody ever notices him. No one ever. It's like the invisible man, but he's called the gray man. That is what I'm going to be in GAC. I'm going to be the gray man. I'm going to just sit 2-1s every single week, every single month, clocking up the crystals. That's me. I'm going to be the gray man. I'm never going to, extend myself or go on one of these massive runs so that I can be humiliated by someone and potentially have I just don't want to ever put myself in a situation where
Neil, it has happened to Ranger. It's happened to Ranger.
Ranger's not had a wooden spoon before.
Oh, he has.
Ranger's never had a wooden spoon. Not while we've been covering him on GA7.
Oh, yes. I remember it because I said in chat that time, one of us.
I don't think it was Ranger.
It was Ranger.
You sure you're not getting Ranger mixed up with Thaddeus, who regularly gets the wooden spoon?
I am quite sure of this. It happens, though. It does happen to all of us. And it will happen to you.
It won't. I will never, ever. No, I'm la. I am not listening to you. La. Hang on. What am I doing? Putting the microphones in my ear. There, microphone's out. Can't hear you. I am not listening to you. I will not get the wooden spoon. You can mark it. You can clip it all you like. I will not get a wooden spoon. I would rather die than get a wooden spoon on my main account.
All right. Well, let's talk about the cheers and the jeers. Thank you, Cascade, for the 100 bits. Let's talk about the cheers and the jeers of this past year. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. What's annoyed you the most of the year, and the reason why you dropped your 3 accounts?
Well, to me, there's only been two events that have occurred in the game over the past 12 months that really stick in my throat, and that is the changes to Conquest from Conquest 7 onwards, and the nerfs to multiple off-meta counters. But not just the nerfs to the off-meta counters, the reason behind the nerfs. So those are the only 2 things that, and I'm not saying that Conquest is bad. Conquest is great. Conquest is an excellent game mode. It is a really, really good game mode. But ever since Conquest 7, they've just made it grindy and not fun. It's a good game mode. It's an exquisitely good game mode that isn't fun for me and for a large swathe of the community because they changed it to be way too grindy. I kept my fingers crossed because they do the changes. They do the QOL and they do the switches and the changes to Conquest every 3 months. So I was kind of keeping my fingers crossed that they would reverse the changes from Conquest 7 when Conquest 10 hit, They didn't. So I said that, Conquest was dead to me. It's still dead to me. Yeah, if I've got energy, I go in, I put a team in, I hit auto, I use my energy, done. That's it.
Really quick, Neil, on the final show of the year, we have achieved a hype train during the show, not during the intro, actually during the show. Cascade, Dr. Feelgood, and Lizzie, all cheering. 100 from Cass, 100 from Dr. Feelgood, 144 from Lizzie. Thank you very much. Let's see how far we can get this hype train. I'd love to see it. I'd love to finish out the year on a nice hype train. And we will acknowledge everything. We won't go to break until this hype train's over. I'll put it that way.
Does this hype train deserve a never age? You think?
If they could get it to 5, never age all you want.
It will be a full on. Full on.
Will I have to flag this?
You will have to do some heavy editing.
Oh jeez.
You will have to do some heavy editing.
If you want to spoil my evening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You are gonna have to cut out the entire basic. You know what? I'll analogize it, right? I will analogize it. I am a bit, I've been a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine ever since season 1. Season 1 through to season 6, absolutely loved. I was indifferent about season 7 because it just wasn't funny. I swear they got new writers in because it's like, okay, where's the funny? The funny's gone, guys. And then I kind of like held off watching 8 because I was worried that it was. And I recently watched 8 and I didn't laugh that much. It wasn't funny. But something new that they put in there, it's like every single episode, they were constantly swearing, but beeping it out. And I'm like, you're going to beep it out. You're going to edit it. So why have them use words that you're going to beep out? Just do it like you did in seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, where, they would just say, oh, crap, instead of, oh, beep. It's like, it just takes, it took away from it. So you would have to seriously do some, there would be some beeping. There would be a lot of beeping on the audio. So if we hit level 5, I will go, I will go epic. I have been very, very reserved. I have been very, very reserved.
You have on this show, during the podcast show, you've been very reserved, and I appreciate it because I do like keeping my, all audiences.
I was even reserved. When Ranger and I discussed the change. When we were discussing what had happened to Conquest after 7. On the RSG stream, he went nuts, and I was still playing, playing it nice, but I would go, I would happily go completely and utterly ham on, I will quite happily never age. All
right, so they did get it to level 2. Since we made a new level, Ice House with a sub, Cascade with a gift sub to all the Sandfly, 100 additional bits from Cascade, and Essex Hammer with 500 bits. Let's go back to SWGOH for right now.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll thank everybody as we hit different levels, and I'll turn it over to you if they do hit 5. Anyway. So you were talking about what annoyed you the most, and it was Conquest. For me, it was, and I think you mentioned it, Neil, the way that they released challenges, and then challenges got changed up after that. Mm-hmm. They fixed it, if you will, in your, forgive lack of the better term here, but your conspiracy theory of they released it broken to fix it to make everyone happy.
Yeah. Wasn't a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy. It's not, it wasn't conspiratorial. I said it. I said, I outright accused them. They released it broken with 3 major points, right? I said before they fixed it, it wasn't a conspiracy because I said, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. The entire community knows it, is shouting about it. And then a week later, they posted, oh, we hear what you're saying and we're going to fix these 3 things. I said the 3 things that they were going to fix within a week, and they acknowledged it and then fixed them because there were about 10, a half a dozen to 10 smaller things in challenges that, you know, only smaller chunks of the community would, you know, there was the various different modding, there was the various different feats, you know, people picked up tiny little things, but they made 3 glaringly obvious things. And the whole point of releasing it broken was, let's just give them something to complain about, and then we can fix it and we look like the heroes. And that's why they burnt their, you know, I mean, challenges has been dead to me since it got released.
But but Conquest is basically challenges in a long form, back-to-back challenges.
No, I wouldn't know.
There are feats, there are modifiers. It's yes,
yes, there are feats, and yes, there are modifiers. But that's the only similarity between Conquest and challenges is the feats and the modifiers. That's it. You know, it's not the same team, tier after tier after tier after tier. It's a different team. Every single node is a different team.
Unless you're going down a hard node and you get 3 Padmes in a row.
Yeah, no, there is that. There is always that, yes. But so challenges, yeah. To be honest with you, the one thing that they did with challenges, and they did it this year, was adding ships to it. I liked that. I thought that was it was a nice change.
Yeah.
It was a nice change. And I think even at some point they'll do ship nodes in Conquest, because the proving ground seems to be challenges for certain things. I mean,
you mean challenges are like Conquest?
No. It's just that I think that sometimes they'll test makeups for teams that they then put into Conquest. But I mean, some of them are a pain. I mean, if I can't clear it, then I just don't do it. If I can't do it in a couple of battles, then, you know, that's it. I go straight to tier 10. If I can't beat it with at least one squad, then that's it. It's done to me. I just leave it alone.
What did we love the most out of 2021?
Mara Jade, the Legends.
You know, I'm going to agree with you.
You knew I was going to say that.
They came so far at the end. All my mind was on New Galactic Legends of the prequel era. And it looks like we are going to be just short on the hype train, so I'm going to mention it now. 500 bits from Lizzie Jonko, 100 bits from Cascade, and 100 bits from Ray Rock in part 2 of the hype train. So thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you.
I'll give it a mini Never Age.
we'll get
because there is one thing that I haven't talked about that there was 2 things that stuck in my throat.
In the game?
That stuck in my throat. In the game this year, yeah.
All right. So for me, the things that I loved the most was the fact that we got Fennec Shand this year. We got we have a new Boba, even though it's one of the things that annoys me is the Conquest characters that you have to get perfect 3 times in a row in order to unlock them. I think they need to go to 5-star, and, you know, they did that with Kiadi Mundi, but I think Conquest characters should be 5-star unlocks. But we got a lot of fun characters, a lot of characters people were looking forward to. And that'll lead me to the last thing on that list in a moment. But go ahead, Neil. I'll turn the floor over to you. We had a level 1 full level hype train. So
yeah, so the other thing that stuck in my throat.
One I don't have to edit.
What?
One that I don't have to edit.
Okay, fine. One that you don't have to edit. Yeah, no. The other thing was the nerfs. The nerfs. They were so bloody annoying. And they absolutely sucked. You know, so they nerfed Vader, they nerfed Watt, they nerfed the Dark Trooper, they nerfed a bunch of characters that were important pieces for off meta counters to GLs. And the justification given was they want GLs to be, you know, the pinnacle. The problem with that was they nerfed some off meta counters and didn't nerf others. And the reason that they gave just sucked. And the reason why it annoyed so many members of the community was because people had spent a lot of time and resources buffing up those characters to be off meta counters, because, you know, it's like, right, while I'm farming for this GL, at least I have the off meta counter. I did it on my accounts. I went off meta counter for Slacker and off meta counter for Ray.
And each of those off meta counters cannibalized another team.
Yes. So I was putting resources into characters just to beat those teams in GAC in case I came across them while I was farming for JML. And then the nerf came out and it's like, great. Okay, so my Ray off meta counter now doesn't work. And my Slacker, I mean, my Slacker one did still kind of work. But my Ray off meta counter ceased to work because it was dependent on the combo of Vader and Watt. And I put a boatload of resources into Watt for that counter.
Imperial troopers were on my radar to finally get done when they could beat up, C.
I was doing the exact same thing. I had my Imperial troopers at gear 11 when they nerfed that counter. So I just stopped. I completely stopped altogether. And the nerfs, so the nerfs were something. It's not just the nerfs. It was the reason they gave for nerfing those characters, because it was an inconsistent, an irrational reason. It was completely irrational because they did it for certain GLs, but not for other GLs. Right. And then as things moved along that week, everybody was like, okay, but it doesn't matter. We'll find other off-meta counters. And people were like, yeah, they'll nerf those too. And then we had the nerf to the Slacker cheese in 3v3 against JMK. The Slacker Daka zombie cheese team to beat JMK Cat, and then that got, you know, so if they pick and choose what they nerf, but they give the same reason, but it doesn't make sense because there is still an off meta counter to Slacker. There are still off meta counters to Slacker. There are still off meta counters to Ray. There are still off meta counters to JML, but for some reason they stopped off meta counters to JMK and C. It just didn't make any sense. They weren't showing the same respect for certain GLs that they were showing for other GLs. So it was the inconsistency, and it really, really bugged the crap out of me.
Well, we are running over, so let's make this one quick, and then we'll get into the interview coming up here in a moment, guys. If you're just tuning in, we're going to be talking with Sep and Taliana in a interview we recorded last week. Really, really good interview about the health of the game. And then the produced season finale that you do not want to miss. And hope you guys do enjoy. Now, what do you want to see in 2022, Neil?
More legends. Seriously, I want to see more legends. I really, really, really hope that the whales and the krakens went nuts on the legends. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that because they're the guys.
I think CG made it that way because of their Omicrons, Neil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping so.
I'm
just hoping.
They got some out of me. I'm going to say that. They got some out of me. I didn't fully 7-star anything, but they got some out of me for 2 certain characters. I'm going to just put that out there.
I'm just hoping that the bean counters, report to EA and CG, we made a boatload of money from the Legends characters. You need to do the same thing again in 2023. Do a release of 4 Legends characters with a Legends event for a 5th character. Do that again. It was popular, it was liked, and the whales and the krakens spent a lot of money on those. And then we get another 5 random Legends characters, fan favorites, Star Wars fan favorites, from various different eras. Doesn't matter whether it's video games, books, comics, doesn't matter. Do the same thing again in 2020, in 2022. Absolutely. So I would like to see 5 more Legends, another 4 marquees with a Legends event in 2022.
I would agree, as long as I get Hondo. That's my
He's
my
not a
thoughts.
Legends character, so he wouldn't be part of that.
He's a legendary character to me, Neil.
Okay.
So, all right. This is our final live chance to say anything that we want to say to the community. I personally thank everyone for making 2021 so amazing. The stuff that we did, including the rallying around Mini. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for that. Any retrospect back to 2021 before I push the button for the rest of the show?
No, I think that the game had a solid year. I gave it a B+. I mean, I gave it a C- or something for 2020. But this year it's been good. It would have been an A were it not for those 2 things that I mentioned earlier on.
I give it a solid B because the nerfs take it down.
That's why I'm giving it a B+.
It shaves off that. It shaves off the plus.
B+ because but it's a B+. It's a B+ for me because of the love that they showed for GAC. We got the Division reboot, and then we got what we got toward this year. At the end of this year,
we'll see what matchmaking does. Well, yeah. I still want to see matchmaking in its pure form instead of its randomized form. That's just me.
You know what? Sod it. Yeah, BCM does bring up a point. I'm not going to give it an A+. I will take it from a B+ to an A- because I got a 330 pull on Mara Jade. And it gave me the 330 pull while I still had enough crystals in the bank to then be able to take my Mara Jade straight to Relic 5. So yeah, I will take it from a B+ to an A- because of Mara Jade.
There you go. But Neil, let's have a wonderful 2022. Lots of changes in store, and one of those changes will be announced at the end of the show, so you don't want to miss that. Coming up in just a moment, we are going to be, you'll have story time with Uncle Thad on the year in review, where he goes over everything that happened, then the state of the game, and then the produced season finale. Right after these messages, right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod. Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Thad and the Escape Podcast for kids. As the year closes out, I want to do a review of 2021 and what major changes took place in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. January was a slow month for SWGOH fans. Grand Arena Season 14 began, Quill and IG-11 both found permanent farming locations, and the Mandalorian tag was announced, and with it came the Armorer's Marquee event. Oh, that's right. And Conquest mode was announced in the January road ahead. So they waited to the end of the month, and they announced this huge thing that's coming. A new mode. It's going to be great with stuff and things. It looked kind of similar to something that we'd done in the past, but there was like sweet music, and there were cool questions that were asked. I mean, who wouldn't be excited for that? February actually gave us the first look at Conquest. During interviews on the Operation Metaverse and the Galactic War Report, the devs discussed all things about the new game mode. This announcement brought with it the introduction of the Razor Crest. Now, this was the first new ship to the game in a really freaking long time. Plus, it was the Mando ship. I mean, it was the Mando ship before it got blowed up. Now, March started off with the addition of the Dark Trooper and the Imperial Remnant faction tag. Now, hindsight being what it is, not a lot has come from this just yet. As far as the Imperial Remnant faction tag, it could be that we get the eventual Lord Grand Admiral Thrawn, who knows? But this tag, really all it did was make the Stormtrooper a lot better, but a lot better specifically within the Imperial Remnant. Now, it's still better, but not what it could be. I'm still waiting for the Stormtrooper to have like a B1 battle droid ability where he just keeps coming back over and over and over again, because like there was an endless supply of Stormtroopers. They just kept coming. Now, additionally, March brought us the addition of Bo-Katan Kryze. She was dope. We love Bo-Katan in Clone Wars. We loved her in The Mandalorian, and it's cool to have her in the game. Now, April's login character was CT7567, or as we all know him, Rex. Looking back, I remember fans were all like, this means we're gonna get the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is coming. Yay, the Bad Batch. And you know what? They were right, because the Bad Batch came. Hunter joined in April. We knew the whole crew was on its way. Hunter, Tech, Rekka, Echo, Little Johnny, Crosshair, Omega, and Pony Boy. The whole crew. And it started, right? April started the thing. We got Hunter. Later that month, we got Tech. Then we got Wrecker. But that's it. They didn't give us the whole crew. Now, this was when they decided to announce Jedi Master Kenobi, which to me really didn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, yeah, they're excited. They're building hype about a new galactic legend. But I really wanted, Pony Boy and Crosshair. Where Pony Boy and Crosshair, Capital Games? Where are they? I don't know, right? We didn't even get little Johnny out of it. But it turned out Kenobi was pretty dope. And, so I'll let that one slide. Oh, and Carl Weathers and Cara Dune both got added to the accelerated character list, which is great if you hadn't farmed them before. May, I gotta say, guys, May is always a huge month, and it was a big month. May was huge for SWGOH players. On May the 4th, we got double drops. And I know, everyone loves the double D. It's a great time, especially when you hit that refresh button 3 times, and you get a grand total of 0 shards on the character you're farming. I mean, that doesn't happen all that often to me. I know it happens out there, but I'm one of the lucky few. I actually love double drops. I think it's great. May the 4th was wonderful, but May was a big month for the Capital Games. They made some changes to the UI. They started tweaking a few things. It was subtle at first if you weren't paying attention to the forums, but there were some very nice changes. But really, May was just a huge win for the Capital Games art department. Now, I laugh a little bit, but it was a solid win. This was the month when the character portraits started to change, and some of the characters looked different. For the most part, they looked amazing. They did a great job. There were just 1 or 2 that were a little less favorable. Also, in the month of May, we were introduced to Commander Ahsoka Tano and Echo. No Crosshair. Now, all kidding aside, June was also a pretty big month for SWGOH. On June 15th, the dev gave us a new squad management tool. They completely revamped the UI for the character and ship screen. They put them together, which in and of itself doesn't sound like a really big thing, but it was. It was huge. And anyone who comes to this game now is like, oh, that just seems cool. That's normal, right? It's nice. There's still some changes to be made, but this is a huge step in the right direction. But June was also the month that players were able to start unlocking Jedi Master Kenobi. And only after 3 months after its launch, Conquest went through some pretty major reworks to fix bugs, remove some troublesome mods or whatever, and generally make it less fun to play. I mean meaningful. Generally make it more meaningful. 2 new characters were announced in July, and here they are in order of importance. Omega, Galactic Legends Lord Vader. August was another pretty big win for CG. We got another large character change to the UI. Things were consolidated. It was made easier to kind of see who you are working on as far as Galactic Legends goes. The Executor was another great addition to the game, and it came at the end of the summer. This new ship allowed players to finally blow something up with a Death Star. I mean, we don't have a Death Star raid. I'm calling it for 2022. Biggest misstep for the addition of the Executor in this game was the fact they didn't introduce Forlom or Zuckuss and their ship. Guys, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This ship, these characters should be in the game. They're still not. Now, I'm going to state this now. If Capital Games doesn't get their act together in the next 3, 4, or maybe 5 years and not introduce Forlom and Zuckuss, I may quit. They have that much time. I'm just going to say that. Oh, yeah, by the way, Maul was introduced or announced as the next Conquest character, reward character. And I mean, another Maul. Enough said. September, we saw Relic 9 added to the game. And because of this, they laid out a grand plan in their State of the Gearlaxy. Now, this allows players, supposedly, to farm stuff easier. And I gotta say, I think it's been amazing. Personally, I still don't have my cup up to Relic 9. That's coming. But for the rest of my squad, I've really been able to develop quite the fluffy bottom. And I'm very happy for it. Jumping over to October, and this, I gotta say, is what keeps me in the game. Players were able to unlock Master Assassin Fennec Shand, and she is dope. I mean, she looks great, she's awesome, but really what got the community so excited is if Fennec Shand is coming, what does that mean for Dad Bod Boba? Is he going to be a galactic legend? Is he going to be something else? What and how do we get him? Turns out he wasn't a galactic legend, he was something else. Now, November, there were some weird moments in November where they dropped the hyperdrive bundle down to $50, which I'm not sure if they were trying to be like nice and polite and say, hey, you know, spend less money on this. But I'm hopeful that they're looking at stuff and saying, hey, maybe we're a little too greedy. Maybe we need to do some other things. I don't know. Just saying. Now, November also brought a pretty major thing. Yeah, it was the 6th anniversary of the game. It was Lucasfilm's 50th anniversary. Hopefully, the next 50 years will be less controversial than the last, 7. But what they did, what Galaxy of Heroes did, is they introduced characters who were not in canon. Now, we saw the first non-canonical characters added to the game since 2018 when they introduced the Sith Triumvirate Raid. We have Dash Rendar and Kyle Katarn were added, and they're pretty awesome. The hype around these two characters specifically was huge, and still actually is. But it all finishes off with December, and December has brought us the Darth Talon, the Lady of the Sith, and Mara Jade Skywalker, not to mention, to a lesser extent, Starkiller. Now, all of these characters are really exciting, and all of these characters are really fun. Now, I think we can all admit 2021 and 2020 were pretty terrible years for a lot of people. It's been pretty crazy. But for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I think the player base has gotten a lot of really meaningful and positive changes. Many of the marquee characters that were added during this year were actually able to be farmed before the typical 3-month mark. The changes to the user interface and the gear drop rate have been a huge help to in-game players like myself, and I can only imagine they are incredibly beneficial to new players as well. The player base has gotten some much needed character favorites added to the game, but especially over the last 3-4 months, what we've also seen is the devs come out and make contact with the player base. And I think of all things, that is one of the biggest, most important things that the creators of this game can do. Show us just how much this game means to them as a product, as something that they are attached to. Not just as a commodity, but something that they love as much as we do. And I think it's been really fun to see Crumb and the others come on to different live streams and just speak their mind about what's coming and their excitement for the future. And to that I say cheers to the devs for stepping it up this year. It wasn't perfect, but on the whole, I think it was a good year. So that's it for me this year, friends. Tune in 2022 for more story time with Uncle Thad here on the Escape Podcast for Kids.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways want you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critic K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod cast.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. It's incoming transmission time, and we've got a double whammy for you. Paul, introduce our guests today.
Absolutely. We have Taliana from the 50 Shades of KAM server, but you also know her because I tag her and ask you guys to help her out when it comes to collecting data, manual data to see the health of the game, to get the numbers that are there. But we also have with us from SWGOH.GG, Sep, who does his own numbers, and he also is a very, very integral part, Neil, of GA Center, the entire...
Oh, hell yeah. We'd be lost without him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to have both of these people join us here, and let's go ahead and jump in to what we've been talking about this entire show, and that's the past year of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Let's start off with Taliana. Explain, before all of the switches happened with the whole Kyber, not the Kyber, what is GAC revamp, the getting rid of Grand Arena or getting rid of Squad Arena payouts of crystals, you had a certain way. So what was the way that you used to collect that information?
Well, since 2019, every GAC, we've been doing a survey of the player base where when people came into GAC, every new month, they would have a new GAC framework. And when somebody logged in, they would be automatically entered into that GAC envelope and they would be given a ranking. Then you would also have that join button that all of us are very familiar with, where you have to hit your join button to join for the week. That's what you have to do to actually play a GA. But if you logged in during that 24 hours when that button was available, you would be automatically added to GAC and put into rankings. What that meant is the number of rankings there were represented the number of players that had logged in during that 24-hour period within that division. And so what we realized is, hey, they put those numbers in order, right? By rankings, by how many banners you have. Yeah. Some people don't bother to join GA. And so if somebody logged in but did not join, they would have 0 banners. And so they would have a very low ranking. And so what we did is we started surveying everybody we could find for what's the lowest ranked person you can see with no banners. And as the GA started, when people placed their defense, or if they didn't, even if it auto set, they would get defense banners. That would push those zeros to the bottom of the bin, right? As people got feats, like doing their squad battles or whatever, they get banners. It would push people further down. So the 0 banners would just get pushed further and further down the ranking, closer to the bottom, until people got enough banners to start going out of carbonite and into bronzium. And then the division would start shrinking again. So what we did is we did a player-based survey for what's the worst ranked person you can see in your guild, in your ally list, in your fleet shard, in your ground shard. And then at some point this year, I believe it was WookieTown, realized that when they introduced the new guild tool, we could also manually go in and find guilds at different sizes, like those little, 30 million guilds, and be able to access even more players and even more ranks. We just kind of go through, look at their profile, look at their rank, enter the numbers. And we could use that to then say how many players are in each division that log in a 24-hour period. We could add those all together to say how many people are in the player base. And we could track that month to month to month to month. And we've been doing that, as I said, since I guess it's October 2019, up through when they changed
until today.
until this month, yes.
Yeah. So, Sep, you had a way that you were kind of looking at those numbers as well. And
yeah,
what was your tactic?
Not nearly as intricate or smart. People would use our website, and then we would have that information. It was kind of a two-step thing. They would come sign up, and then we would have we would sync their data, and we would know that they exist. We've started expanding that to full guild sync, so we pick up people that don't necessarily have a GG account, and then introduced a tool a couple weeks ago that you can sync any ally code that you see. But that's pretty much, it's all. We have not yet gone out and really sought more players. We haven't, mostly from a technical standpoint of, we'd like to not have all of that data in our servers yet.
You don't want everything. You don't want
everything. There's an appetite to have more than we have now. But we know, I wrote a quick kind of spider that would kind of crawl out and find more accounts. And we ended up in an hour having, 30% more than we had that hour before. And I was like, well, this is not sustainable. We can't do this for 24 hours or days and days, because we would have way too much data. But we're getting to a point where we're scaling our infrastructure and making things smarter, how we do things, that we would be able to support that much data.
So I'm going to ask this question to both of you and then toss it over to Neil here. What percentage do you think you're actually getting with the way that you guys have done it? Taliana, you first.
So what we can say is that of the people who log in during that 24-hour window, who are level 85 and above, and therefore eligible for GAC, we think we're probably getting within about sort of 10 to 20,000 every month of that total, just sort of guessing what our error is based on looking at sort of the patterns. And that, again, that's a limited set, and it's a different basis set than GG is working with. And so it tells you different things. I could probably add here, Sep was really kind this month and shared with us, they took a listing of GP for everybody who had logged in within the last 30 days who had an account on their site. And we were able to put that and match it up against the divisions that we catch. And what we could see is that from divisions, old divisions 1, 2, and 3, which is 6 million GP and above, they match pretty closely. They have about 5 to 10% more in those divisions, but that also could be the month of GP growth.
Who has more?
They had a few more, but
GG had the higher number.
But it was also a month of growth, and since we were doing it by roster size, it's hard to say if that's actually more people up at the very top, or if it's just that more people move into those divisions as their rosters grow. But they're very similar, within sort of 5-10% for divisions 3 and up. And then so where GG loses some of the players is in 6 million and below, which is the newer players or smaller rosters that maybe aren't as competitive and so aren't using all the tools available, like the website, right? And so it's a different basis set. What we were seeing is that for basically 2 years now, we've been within spitting distance of 400,000 players. A little above, a little below, 1 month or another. We've been within spitting distance of 400,000 players that active in a 24-hour period for 2 years.
That's excellent. I'm going to jump over to Sep here on this. What about you? What percentage do you think that you may be missing? You know, where are you figuring you're at?
She said it perfectly. I think we have high confidence that we have, especially the top 100 guilds, probably top 200 to 400 guilds. We have approaching 100% coverage, because we really, for better or worse, it worked out. But for better or worse, we've really focused on those players are probably playing to a high level. Let's get their data so that we can do analytics with that data. So we've kind of focused on capturing that data. Now, and again, that is kind of earmarked with the idea that we can't have everything. Now that we're starting to think that we might be able to have everything, we're starting to say, hey, let's go. I would love to show per division analytics for GAC counters. Because what you see on GG for GAC counters is only the top 100 guilds. That's not even a good metric. That's a bad metric. But think about how good, and not to be unhumble, but think about how good it is. Usually, it is pretty dead on, and that's a bad slice of data. I think. I'm sure the top 100 guilds worth of players are very good players, but it would be way better to do the top 100 GAC ranked players per division, and say, hey, here's this slice of data. So we're looking at a ton of different slices right now, and then just being able to jump around it, because you absolutely want to be able to see that top end, and say, okay, I'm in playing high school basketball. What is LeBron James doing? But then sometimes sometimes you don't have the roster to do that. So you need to know what's going on at your level as well.
Taliana, you wanted to say something before we throw it to Nev?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick. One of the numbers that I heard floating around this month that was attributed to GG was 500,000 players. And I thought that was totally plausible that we could be missing that number of players, like from not that 24-hour window, but from the 30-day window, which is the other big difference from our dated years, is ours is 24 hours and yours is over 30 days. Yeah. Did that 500,000 come from you, or?
That did not come from us. I think we are closing in on that many accounts in our system completely, but we have a lot of dead accounts. I'm just looking at our hourly scraper that constantly scrapes for new GAC data, and we're at 178,000 there. So that's 178,000 people that played. I think the numbers I gave you last were like 240K last logged in. I'm fairly confident we could double that though, as we dip down. So that 400 to 500K seems right.
So GAC, Neil, that's
what are you guys doing on on a collaborative level to try and get more accurate stats? Because you must be having conversations and, well, what if we do this? What if we do that? Because two heads are better than one. What are you guys doing on a collaborative level that is going to make the numbers more accurate moving forward?
You can answer that one first.
We don't know what the state of our numbers is going to be, because they've completely changed things. They completely changed how the logins occur, and nobody understands what the bleep they're doing. The rankings don't make any sense to anybody. We're not sure if they actually are meaningful in any way, shape, or form. And so, to be perfectly honest, we're a little bit, we're just floating in the wind just a little bit. What we can say is that, where's my sheet? I apologize. Let me find my numbers real quick. We can say that we measured 500,000 accounts registered for new GAC.
So you did hit that 500,000.
Caveat. People anecdotally and with screenshots reported that people who have been idle for up to 200 days were added. So they padded their numbers.
Okay.
What is that? Who padded what?
CG padded their numbers. We don't know how they entered people into the GAC window, but we know that people are entered into the GAC count that we would get with our measurements. that were idle for a very long time. So the idea of doing the 24-hour capture is unfortunately dead. We're going to watch to see what we can scrape. What we can try to do is to sort of, I mean, what we were able to do that we hope we're able to continue to do is to estimate at least the sizes of the different leagues, Kyber, Erodium, etc., and maybe even the divisions. I think that is a place where Sep is going to be able to be very helpful, because one of the things GG is doing that I'm very excited about is they've added a tracker for your skill rating to their site, which means they're capturing the skill rating numbers. And we know that the skill ratings are very correlated to divisions. And we know that they have very accurate numbers in sort of the higher end, sort of Kyber 1, Kyber 2 area. And so I'm hoping that one of the things we can get from GG is a sense of how those division sizes change over the next few weeks or months. Because one of the things that's really unusual is they told us that 10% of players were going to be in Kyber 1. Or 10% of Kyber players, rather, were going to be in Kyber 1. And we're seeing 20% of Kyber players in Kyber 1. And we want to know if that's going to continue.
All right, Sep, what do you say to that?
Man,
what are you seeing?
Well,
man?
I can't
What are you
say
seeing
no
in numbers?
while we're recording. That wouldn't be very nice. No, we're totally going to share all that kind of data. We're storing those. That everything we used to do is bad, and everything we're going towards is good. And we were able to share those and aggregate those kind of things a lot easier. So when it used to be either a hard no, we don't have that data, or I'm going to have to write a script and test it and figure out how this works. It's usually like a 5-minute thing to figure out some data. So and then, like I said, what they do is a lot more intelligent than how we do. We really all of our solutions are technical, where it's like, how can we scan more players? How can we find more guilds? It's a little bit just you're out in that universe and searching for life. We can use rankings, leaderboards, all of that. But I know there's more players out there that aren't participating or aren't on a leaderboard or are in some weird edge case. And for us, it's technical solutions to try to find how to hit those endpoints to get those leaderboards, and then start scraping those guilds and add them to our systems.
Nev?
So
what
do you think?
Easy.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, you can get access to what you have recorded. You can get so much out of it so fast, and I love that. It's
fast. It's eating a lot of money. Jeff Bezos is a happy man, but it's
Amazon
it's
Web Services.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any unusual numbers or any unusual activity after this first week? Because we've had one full week. Are you seeing, lots of, is there like more activity in Kyber than there is in Erodium, or Erodium in I mean, anything interesting regarding this past week?
So we've only had we only get the data starting like maybe 6 hours after that event ends. An event is what they call weeks. I assume they call them events, so that maybe at some point in the future they can change the time frame of that, but they don't call them weeks, they call them events. So that first event, we started getting the data yesterday morning. So I haven't had a huge amount of time to dive in, other than looking at the counters, the meta report holds, percentages, how good Qui-Gon Jinn is. He's good. How good Zam is. She's good.
Okay. Let's
Omicrons are pretty good.
Which one do you think is the better one according to your numbers right now?
I don't want to be prescriptive, but I R-rated Qui-Gon and gave him an Ami. He has the highest hold rate right now.
Okay.
After the first event, out of any character, GL or non. So
I chose right, Neil.
Are you able to track that for non-leaders as well? Are you looking at non-leaders as well when you look?
No, so non-leaders, there's a lot of shortcomings with the current data.
Yeah.
All of the data is kind of is pre-aggregated. It's really hard to go in and say, okay, show me ZAMs with Omicrons and ZAMs without Omicrons. And the new system, and the reason it kind of sucks that way is because we pre-aggregate. We don't have like per battle data easily in the current system. The new system is completely battle. Well, every battle will be in our database. So we'll be able to say, okay, let's slice out all the Qui-Gons that don't have Omicrons, or let's slice all the ZAMs in any lead that has an Omicron. Let's look at that data
Coming 2022.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be out in 2022. I'll commit to that.
Well, good, because you got a year. This gives you an entire year.
Man. In development time, hey, a year's a long time. But it's also not that long. But I also, Kyle Katarn, I saw him pop up. Monmouth has a very high hold rate at this point with Kyle Katarn. Some of this is probably people just don't know what to do. Then they'll get better at it. You'll find out Ewoks, G11 Ewoks counter Mon Mothma or something, and everybody will use that, and then the party's over for him. But right now, that's very strong. But I went all in on Qui-Gon.
I think a lot of it is just psychological. People see a 3-star character and they're like, haha, I can use my low end team for this.
You forget about the relic stuff.
I think you're seeing that with Kyle Katarn, and you're seeing it with Dark Talon.
Yeah,
I think as well.
Yeah, Dash actually has pretty good hold rates, and not to give away all my defenses, but he has good hold rates with non-prep people too. So his Omicron might be kind of a wash, because his Omicron really only affects prep units, and he has a pretty good holding team with non-prep units.
Oh, right. Okay. So see, you can put him with both.
Yeah, it does look like
he still does the job.
Yeah. And again, Dash is probably the most susceptible to, oh no, he went first, his AoE hit 3 times, I'm kind of shell-shocked, and now I'm going to play bad. Because on paper, it doesn't look like that team's terribly strong, and probably has an easy counter that just hasn't become mainstream yet.
Nest.
Nest. It's Nest versus Nest. Yeah, both players quit the game out. So, yeah.
So, from what you guys have seen, and I'll ask each of you, and it may very well be that both of you agree on a stance on it. From what you've seen, is the rumors of SWGOH's death premature? As we headlined, 7-8 months ago, Neil. Are the numbers growing? Are the numbers going down? Are you confident in your hobby working out? We'll start with Taliana.
I can no longer access those numbers to be able to say anything quantitatively because they've changed the way they do things. I can say that we were feeling like numbers were plummeting over the last 4 months, but that plummeting was like 10K out of 400K, which is over, I think it feels like a lot more when we know people who move on to another hobby.
Yeah.
But by the numbers before this month, it didn't look like the game was significantly changing. We've seen drops of that size and recoveries before over that yearly cycle. Every year, there's usually sort of a 20-30 year down and up that we see. So it looked pretty normal. I can't see it now, so I can't give you a quantitative answer. I can say that weirdly, new GAC feels like it's breathed life into things. And I was very skeptical coming into it. I was one of the people who, I'm sorry, you guys, plug your ears. I haven't played GAC in a year. Literally, December last year was the last GAC I played.
Yeah, but you're playing it now, aren't you?
This week I've been digging myself out of a big knowledge hole.
So I'm going to say this though. You've talked about, and then we'll go over to you, Sep. But Nev, I mean, our numbers, if you will, of what we see with content creators, we have seen the return of many different content creators this GA Center season.
Yeah,
because
a lot of people
of
came
this.
out of retirement. A lot of people came out of retirement,
and
I mean, we had someone who's been retired for close to 6 months, come out of retirement, and that was Macias. He came out of retirement
and Moon.
For this. Moon came out of retirement. People that hadn't retired but had retired from competitive because other things were going on. So Gom was just, good old Maurice was just playing casually as opposed to playing competitively. And he's like, hell no, so he's back full on competitive. Mr. Gigabachi, Nooch came out of retirement.
Clash came back.
No.
Clash has come back.
I didn't hear that.
No, he's back. He's back playing. He's not back. He's not back on the show. He's not back on GA Center. He's just back. Back and playing because obviously it's new. So I mean, some people have stayed retired. Some people have stayed retired. But I would hazard that some people. There's only one person that I know that has like retired, never to return, and that's Dylar. Because he doesn't have his account anymore. But I suspect there's a few people out there that have retired but are playing the game because they like, I want to know what it's like. I want to see what it's like. I mean, for me, I'm playing 3 accounts again. I'm playing 3 accounts, for a period of about four months, I was only playing 1 account. Because to me the game had gone stale and Conquest was pissing me off. And it was like, fine, then I'm just gonna play 1 account, that was my knife in the back of CG. It's like, no, I'm playing 1 account and I'm not streaming as much. So
so
now they brought it back. It's like, yeah, I want to play more. I see more people are wanting to play more. That people who have been playing their main account have dusted off alts because they want to see what it's like in different leagues.
So we'll send this over to Sep, especially because now we're asking more of Sep when it comes to GA Center, because we've got so many people that are coming back. Are you seeing an uptick in users? The original question still stands. How do you feel about the health? And are you seeing an uptick? I guess those 2 questions.
I will also admit that I didn't play a whole lot of GAC this last year. My strategy was to auto set the first 2 weeks and then play scrubs for 2 weeks, and that felt good for my ego. And then somehow I ended up in Kyber 1 when they did the ratings, and somehow I've won all 3 of my first matches, and now I'm up against 9.5 million GP people. So I feel like a reckoning is coming.
My first introduction to this entire thing, I said it 2 weeks ago, was the fact that I faced a 6 GL opponent in my first ever round of the new system, and they auto set on me.
All right, so hey, that's fine.
Did I play you?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
I actually I've been locked in. So I'm back at least. I'm unretired. This will be the biggest GAC we've ever scanned for sure. We'll hit 185K probably, which is a lot bigger than the last one. That's 20 or 30K uptick from some of the lower 5e5 scans we've done. Go ahead, Taliana.
I don't know if this is possible to do, but quick numbers aside, if there's a way to take lifetime banners and then match that against what you're seeing now this month as your fresh start with skill rating movements, like people who move up or whatever, That's
Right.
potentially a way to get at how many people have started playing again, because the people who've been stagnating for last year are all sitting around 600, 700,000 banners. And the
Right.
people who've remained active around 900K plus.
Yep. Yeah, I'm at 600 something. So
Promising
Yeah,
numbers.
I missed my 1 million by 15K.
Oh,
All I
man.
needed, literally, all I
You should
needed was a
quit.
couple more weeks.
You should
for 1
definitely
million.
quit.
So gutted.
So to answer, is the game dying? It's definitely not dying.
No.
The users are there. They've implemented this and TW matchmaking, and I think this matchmaking is going to take 3 to 6 months just to get really, really good. So that they have to have some kind of roadmap that is X amount of years out after that to take advantage of this really good matchmaking that they've put into place. People have been saying the game's dying since, I feel like, Omega packs and Wedge and GBA were out. Like it's been a while. Everything that comes out, mods, game's dying. Sith Raid, game's dying. Guilds are gonna die. Guilds didn't die. It's fine. Guilds were gonna die with this new TW matchmaking. Guilds are fine. It's fine.
What were you gonna say, Taliana?
The reason we started our project, the reason I started this project back in 2019 was let's say well-known content creator who put out a highly shared video about how the business cycle proved it was dying.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was so frustrated by that. I said, well, let's get some data.
Yeah.
And that's what started my entire project, was proving this game is not dying.
Yep.
And another thing
And
to
for
think about
2
is
years it has not died.
Yeah. Another thing to think about is, even if it remains completely stagnant for the rest of time, we nail 400,000 active users, and that's all that the game ever has. How much more expensive is the game to play than it was 2 years ago? It is incredibly more expensive to keep up with GLs, with the power curve. So those same players are spending more to stay with the game. So from a purely, are there dollars to keep the game running, and is EA overlords happy, and are the accountants happy? I'm sure they are, because you look at the packs, you look at how much investment single characters take, and it's an incredible, compared to other games, it's an incredible amount of just time, money, or both, and people are willing to do that. Lots and lots and lots of people are willing to do that. I do think they need, from this is completely just my opinion. I think they need another new piece of content. Conquest has already kind of staled for a lot of people. I enjoy PvE, but it's pretty stale. I feel like we need a new TB at some point, and a new raid at some point, and maybe a new piece of content.
A new raid or challenge tank, which I've been calling.
Yeah, I've enjoyed challenge rancor, but
Death Star raid.
Yeah, Death Star raid.
We're not going to get a Death Star. I've been saying this
I
since
know.
2019. We're not going to get a Death Star raid until the Return of the Jedi anniversary year in 2023. They mothballed the Death Star raid for a very specific reason. The two guys working on it, it's just been mothballed. It's there. They've got it. They know it. They can roll the damn thing out whenever they want. It will get rolled out in 2023 during the anniversary year of Return of the Jedi.
One more year.
We'll be like, yay!
They'll make JKL a GL then too, and a rebel. They'll just do all the things that should have been done in the first place.
I do have one. I do have a question.
Yes, I was going to say, because we're going to wrap up here in a moment.
Regarding the GAC numbers, is there any way? I mean, obviously, you're great, and you do the scrape, and you get all of the stats for all of the content creators that are competitive in the GAC fraternity. I'm just wondering, because at some point, months from now, there will be a point where there will be one person in the world that's been undefeated.
Yes.
Because you've gone 3-0. So your group of eight are all people that went 3-0. The group of people that I'm in are all people that went 2-1. If you go 3-0 in your second week, in week 3, you will be in a group of 8 people that all went 6-0. and so on and so forth. That's how this match,
Right.
there's going to be that one point where there's only one person that has
Right.
gone completely
Highlander.
undefeated. Is there any way that you can keep a track of that and a table on
Yeah.
SWGOH.gg?
Yeah, we've got that. We have that data all there. There's also, we've got the skill rating, but there's also ranking, and that will from in-game, which we can pull. But we also get that. There's some ways to get that as well. So there will definitely be here are the best players in GAC, or sorry, it's hard for me to say best players. Here's the players that have performed the best, and who have the best record. We've been storing it for 8 months now, 6 months, something like that, of territory wars. We will have the best records over time of TW for guilds. We have a lot less data there. CG, for understandable reasons, isn't giving out history for that. But we do have a lot of data that we can look at and say,
plus
hey,
TW being guild related, where people move around,
If there's about 70, if I recall correctly, about 7,500 players who started out at the 3810 skill rating. And so those are the people who, as they go 3-0, are going to keep going up and keep getting more and more exclusive. After about 4 weeks, going by that divide by 8, divide by 8, divide by 8, there can't be more than about sort of 2 brackets of people going 3-0 at the end of this month. And that's assuming everybody continues to go 3-0 and, same people winning.
That's not going to be me. I'm not going to go 3-0 this week.
We're looking forward.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. So that what I just said may not be the case. I just got a message from Scribe, and the bracket that he is in has 3 guys that went 1 and 2 last week, and 3 that went 3-0.
But they're probably 3-0 from the lower group. So if you look at the banners, this is only the case for Kyber 1, because the top of Kyber 1 at 3810, they can only go up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you take a look at the lowers, people who dropped down overlap with people from the previous division who went 3-0. So people in Erodium can have jumped 2 divisions, in fact.
Yeah, we saw that with a couple of people.
But if you take a look, that's why I said specifically that 3810 starting, which was the highest skill rating to start for the larger rosters. Those people are only going to go up, and there's nobody to come down and overlap them. So at the end of this month, you will have a group that is the top of the people who started at the highest GPs. And let's be perfectly honest, it's not all that likely that people coming in at 7 million GP are going to be competing with the 10 million rosters.
Yeah. Not gonna a lot of things I've seen too. Like I'm at 8.5, so I see a lot of the 9s and some of the 10s, and it's not even the rosters. And I feel like I'm probably a better player than some of them, but when they have 600 more 6E mods than me, and they have 30 more 25 plus speed mods than me, and 100 more 20 plus speed mods, they can really just kind of throw whatever on anybody. They're going to outspeed me. They're going to have way more health. It's a huge uphill battle, and that's all kind of the mod game. The roster side, the mod game is strong.
All right, so
I had the second best mod roster in my bracket, but I was not there on TV.
So let's. I promised you guys 30 minutes. We are just eclipsing that right now. So let's go ahead and wrap up. But Neil and I in this episode have been talking about our favorite things and our least favorite things. Let's end this on a positive note. What has been your favorite thing that you have seen in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in the year 2021? Sep, I'll start with you on this one.
Oh, I've got a bad answer. Nobody's going to like my answer. Why did you start with me? I really like Conquest. I think it has a lot of promise, even with its revamped, how it's been revamped. It definitely has some BS mechanics and things I don't like. But the idea of Conquest and where it could go has brought me a lot of of joy. It's just that PvE figuring out puzzles with the roster that I have that I enjoy. So Conquest is my answer.
All right, Taliana, over to you. And then once you've given your answer, tell people how to enjoy the things that you have created. For example, the 50 Shades of KAM server.
So this is going to sound, I know, again, you guys are going to be like, what? But the Rancor raid. I have loved the Rancor raid this year. I have just really enjoyed pushing my roster and pushing the squads to see how much damage I could get out of a cat hit. That has probably brought the most joy to me this year in terms of gameplay. Tool-wise, there's a new tool, OmegaBot, that does a mod dashboard that doesn't just look at speed. And that makes my mod heart happy. Community-wise, it's the 50 Shards of KAM server, which has turned into an amazingly supportive community that has grown. Instead of analyzing the KAM mission, which is where we started, it's now supporting people in getting KAM shards through supported streaming. So we have the 50 Shards of KAM Discord that people can join. And we have a community of streamers who volunteer their time during the KAM missions to walk people through their runs. People just stream it through the Discord server. And we have around a 95% success rate at this point with well-modded and decently relicked Shakti 501st squads.
There you go.
If you want to prepare for that, go there before the TV starts and talk to us about modding, because modding takes a long time and we don't want to do it on the stream.
And Swampgrass asks, while we're live recording this, is anyone welcome in that server?
Everyone is welcome in that server. Everyone is welcome in that server. It is a community project. The streamers are people who have been in the server supporting people in the channels and have grown to learn how to do the run themselves and now shepherd other people through. One of the best things we do is train people to stream by watching our streams. You're not just welcome to stream, you're welcome to watch the streams. And after you've watched about 30, 40 runs, 100 runs, 200 runs, how patient are you? You can then go back and take that to your guild and stream it with your guild on your own Discord server. And so we've helped people learn how to shepherd other people through those runs as well.
There you go. All right, now we're going to flip it over to Sep. Sep, the monkey with the button, as you like to call yourself, for SWGOH.GG. For those who don't know, for some odd reason, what you do with SWGOH.GG, give people the rundown on that.
Sure. It's a very ugly website right now that you can go to, and you can all of the units are on the front page. That's very moronic. Whoever made this site is not very good at making websites, but you can add your player ID and sync your profile and use all kinds of tools. I think probably the GAT counters are what I use most myself now, but I'm hoping to change that by building better features in the future. We've got a really exciting V2, literally years in the making. It's a lot of the under the hood stuff, but it's going to help us kind of transform how the tools we're able to make. And I'll give a shout out to OmegaBot as well. He's a really good developer. He's a lot smarter than me when it comes to mods and graphs and how numbers work. So I hope we work with him as well for data, and hope to work with him some more in the future.
Nev, any final questions?
Can I do one more shout out for GG as well? Which is anybody who wants to know really how a kit works, GG has all the mechanics built into their site. Go there and read, and you will learn.
We have that page. I don't click it very often. The kind of partner in crime, Scott, who's a front end. He started as a front end developer on GG, but he's everything now. He has an immaculate understanding of game mechanics. To the point where new kits come out and we get the data and he's like, this isn't working right. And he'll message somebody at CG and be like, hey, I know you thought that this is how this is what the text says, and this is what the effects do. And they are not the same. So that is a really cool thing to look at, though.
All right. Neil, did you have any others?
No, I didn't. And let's let these people get off.
All right, guys, thank you so very, very much for joining us, Taliana and Sep. The pleasure and honor is absolutely Neil and I's. But ladies and gentlemen, coming up after this, the season finale. Season 5 has come to an end of the Escape Podcast. Be sure not to miss this. And we'll see you guys in the new year for Season 6 of the Escape Pod Cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or territory wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Almost no time has passed since we were last in the presence of our petulant protagonist. The sarcastic, salty Spartan cartoon Hellenix rides one of the many turbo lifts found inside the former Jedi Temple on Coruscant, accompanied by the novice neophyte newbie N00B. Alongside these two space vagabonds is the turbolift's operator, a blue-collar working stiff, non-human sentient, who must surely be asking himself, what in space hell has he done to deserve such cruel and inhumane torture as to be in the mere presence of these two space clowns? We now join this trio as this elevator ride nears the end of its journey, upward through the heart of the former Jedi Temple building. Last stop, the headquarters of TC-14.
Are we there yet?
Obviously not, automaton. Don't harass the alien dude, newbie. I'd like us to reach our objective within the next few minutes, all right?
He said, relax, droid. You'll be there soon. You weren't kidding, human. This droid is just a mechanical version of an overgrown child.
Newbie's all right. When he's given a very narrow, super specific task to focus on. It's when he's left to his own devices that his logic processors start, wandering. As you know, droids weren't built for thinking. Shoot. If they were, there'd be no need for the rest of us.
Hey!
Meatbag!
I'm standing right here, you know. I can hear you. And that wasn't a very nice thing to say.
Yeah, whatever, droid. By now you should know that I'm simply not that nice.
You sure you guys don't want to stop at any of these floors we're whizzing by before you get off at the top? There's a really nice footwear gallery on level 1242. The new god working that area, Lefty or Dickie or something, really cool guy. Now that's someone people would really enjoy hanging out with on a weekly basis.
No time for distractions or detours, my extraterrestrial friend. I have a rat to confront.
All right, Alex, you need to stop calling TC-14
a rat.
It's rude, it's uncalled for, and it's not what any good person should do.
Oh, newbie.
You are such a noob, bro. You don't have anywhere near the same XP as I do. Remember, I've been at this game since day one. You barely just started playing the game. Trust me when I tell you, I know my rats, and at the core of TC14, there's nothing but a dirty, filthy, stinking rat.
You have got to be the
Most infuriating
person I've ever had to interact with, Linux.
He doesn't seem all that bad, droid. As a matter of fact, your human friend here seems kind of tame, really.
I don't know a single person who would describe Linux as tame, Mr. Extraterrestrial, sir.
The droid here is just a bit, how can I put this? Inexperienced, my alien dude. He doesn't realize what's truly at stake here. He doesn't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. He's naive and thinks,
everybody's always so nice, and nobody does anything with any hidden ulterior motives.
He hasn't seen what I've seen, he hasn't been where I've been, and he's never had to do what I've had to do.
You know what, Linux? Announcer guy is right. You are
a blowhard
who thinks way too highly of himself. What do you think's gonna happen when we reach TC-14's secret lair?
I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna burst in there and blow that protocol droid's head clean off its chassis with an excessive amount of force lightning? I guess.
All right, fellas, you've arrived.
Linux. I think the extraterrestrial is waiting for you to tip him before he opens the door.
cheapskate.
Fine. Jeez. Here's one shiny nickel, my extraterrestrial friend.
Wow, thanks. I'll be sure not to quit my day job. I guess I'll hurry up and open the old elevator door for you now, you cheapskate.
All right.
Linux, I
cannot
believe you actually did that.
Come on out, you rat.
You cannot be
serious.
Linux, are you suffering from some kind of
malfunction?
Wait, are humans even capable of having malfunctions?
Quiet, noob. Keep your eyes peeled. That rat's in here somewhere.
All right.
Meatbag.
Why don't you just lower your hand, take a deep breath, let's turn around and go home, okay? What do you say, huh?
There!
Linux, are you trying to bring the entire galactic government down upon us? It's
a miracle.
We haven't been apprehended already with the Sith lightning you've been firing off all day.
Noob, mouth shut, eyes open. There!
Dear R.N. Jesus, descend from your lofty heights in high roll heaven and guide my
meatbag
friend here to a less volatile state of being. He seems to have lost his marbles. Amen.
Wait, there!
Tickles a little bit. Okay, you Greek b****. Okay, don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'll come out. All right, Horsebox. You know GL having I'm here. Now what?
Whoa! Is that?
Yes, noob. That's who's been behind this all along. That is...
Michael. Mr. Mouse. How do you prefer I address you, sir?
Whoa. Wait a second.
My near non-existent inner circle of friends call me Mick. It's short for Mickey, you know? Mickey? Like Mickey? Rooney? Yeah, Mickey Rooney. Nobody else I know named Mickey. Nope, I can't think of a single one. Anyway, but you, droid, you can call me Mr. Squealerson.
It is quite the honor, Mr. Squealerson.
What? Noob, did you just say it's an honor to meet this rat? What kind of treachery is this?
What's the problem this time, Homeo Box? Are you surprised? Don't get your pants in a bunch. Your droid's been licking my boots since day one.
Lennox, you're embarrassing me.
I'm embarrassing you?
You've always been an absolute waste of space, Specs. A complete and utter embarrassment to everyone in the galaxy.
Yes, you are Lennox.
I'm embarrassing you.
Apparently, you're also a really thick-headed, faced, brain-dead idiot, horsebox.
I said,
Yes, you are. Meatbag.
All right, that does it.
uh-oh.
Hey, watch it, Spartan. You almost tickled my balls with that blast. Oh, don't get me wrong, I do like that kind of action, but I typically prefer it done to me by in third world countries. What happened, you Greek bastard? Did I strike a nerve? Wait. Are you worried about your friends? Like your droid here? Your droid and all your friends are under my spell. They'll do whatever I tell them to do. They'll give me all their money, even if it means not paying for their own children's most basic needs. They're putty in my hands. They're slaves to my desires, and they ignore free-to-play losers like you.
I won't let you corrupt any more newbies.
It's too late for that, Dad. Watch this. Newbie? Kill him. He doesn't deserve to be in the same galaxy as you. He doesn't even have a single GL. What in the space hell does he know? Hellenix must die. Now.
No. You will die.
Ow! Hey, that one kinda hurt. Okay, alright, okay, stop. You're actually causing me some serious pain. Stop that. Let's talk about this.
No more talking. Now you will pay. Greedy fool. Only now, at the end, do you begin to understand. Your pathetic cries are no match for the power of the F2P. You are paying the price for your lack of compassion.
Newbie, please, Newbie, help me!
And now, you vile rodent, you will die.
No.
Noob, what in space hell do you think you're doing? Put me down, you nearsighted heap of malfunctioning circuitry. I said put me down.
Do it, noob. Toss him over the railing.
Noob, why are we heading to the edge of the catwalk? Wait, no. Don't do it. Don't you dare throw me down that bottomless pit. You set me down on the floor this instant, droid. You listen to me. You listen to me, you backstabbing, bootlicking, brainwashed, freeloading, parasitic, spineless, poorly put together NPC.
Good job, bottom noob. I'll consider tossing you a free CWC shard for your troubles.
Horsebox, Homeobox, Paraspects.
Oh god, we got another broke SWGOH YouTuber on our hands. Hey, D742, do we have anything on the clearance rack? Something that's barely being held together with duct tape and hydro spanners?
N00B is available for purchase.
You shall henceforth address me only as Master.
Understood. Hellenix.
No, N00B. Master.
Hellenix.
Oh, man, why does everything have to be so goddamn difficult?
N00B, I don't have time to discuss this with some noob droid committee. These are your new orders. Hellenix is your new master now, and you will serve him well. Codename Llama, out.
Master. Peculiar.
Are you going to?
Kill.
These organics? Hellenix?
Well, noob, I actually need oxygen to breathe. No power, no air. No air, no oxygen. No oxygen, no Hellenix. And we can't have that, can we?
Congratulations.
Ahem. I said we can't have that, can we? A can of 5W30 full synthetic motor oil. What's this? A magazine? Let's see, the latest issue of what now? Popular Robotics. This issue, a full schematic of that droid from Metropolis is this month's centerfold. Wait. Oh my.
I can logically explain both of those items.
Hellenix.
Ah, jeez, come on, droid. Dude, you went to the engineering terminals to do that? We really have to reset some of your safety protocols and decency parameters, I think.
I already told.
Yeah. Great. Wait.
I wasn't doing anything.
Embarrassing.
Wait, what's up with your voice modulator? Explosions. Noob, we're under attack. Radar's still operational.
Master.
Newbie! Oh no. Come on now, stay with me, Noob. Newbie?
Either way, you lose.
Excuse me.
Oh dear.
Noob! You're alive! But how? I saw your central optic light dim, fade away and blink out. Newbie, I saw you die.
I have a secondary power source, Master. It took a moment, but I was able to reroute power and reboot my systems.
Like the T800 and T2 Judgment Day?
Exactly.
Haha, nice. Oh boy, here we go.
I just don't understand why guilds do
This.
What?
this sandbagging.
Wait, hang on. Where's that beep coming from? Is Flair in here?
Flair? I love Flair. He's awesome. I'm a
Huge.
fan.
Flair is pretty cool. Do what shit?
This poaching.
Wait, hang on. What do you mean the GRDS is allowing guilds to do this?
You guys see what we
Did there.
Yup. Not only did we mirror last month's episode, but we also added some GRDS promotion. So shameless. Much promotion. Lols. Come on, noob. You gotta just let loose sometimes and have fun. I mean, it's what they do in Sato PD. That was epic.
listening to you two make bad dad jokes just so you can rhyme with Utini is super.
Annoying.
This is Ludbaka. He is one of thousands of users you've banned from your Discord.
Tens. Noob. Tens.
Okay.
Tens of thousands.
No,
Of
noob,
people you
stop
banned
that.
from one of your Discord servers.
Tens of people, not tens of thousands of people. You ungrateful little glob of grease. Wait. One at a time, boys.
Yeah, Dan is trying to tell me that Chancellor Valor is actually a good leader for the galaxy
A corrupt, lifelong politician
Complete
who will blatantly lie to get his way.
I said one at a time. Do you see now, newbie? Wasn't that PSA helpful?
That PSA did not explain anything.
Newbie's right, Mr. Meatbag. Newbie is so smart.
G3 is correct, Lennox. You...
Don't realize.
Exactly. What is going on here?
He's right, Mr. Meatbag.
So do you see now, noob? Wasn't that PSA helpful? Noob.
Yes, Lennox.
Look.
This PSA was actually helpful.
Wait, what? Really?
Yes, Lennox. Really.
Show me what you got.
Excellent. I proudly present to you a newly refurbished and fully functional
TC14.
Ah! Master!
TC14?
Why?
There may be someone in the Bacta tank itself. If we zoom in here, there's clearly a bipedal organism. Human by the looks of it. Tattered clothing. Oh my, isn't that old horse?
I'm just not in the position to allow you to jeopardize the safety of my crew, my ship, the listeners and viewers of the show, our llama, the Jawa, that pygmy Wookiee guy we once had on, any aristocratic Ewoks that might stop by, Christie's artwork, my sci-fi memorabilia collection, the garbage disposal. No buts about it, mister. Plug into that terminal right in front of you.
Who the heck
are you?
Well, I am the twin brother and co-herald of the righteous right foot of God, the Almighty. I am God's laudable left foot.
Wow, you're a twin?
Who do you think I am, buddy?
Coruscant Underworld Police?
Ah, crap. Not this again. Look, buddy, I'm not a Coruscant Underworld policeman. I'm a Coruscant Overworld policeman. Every time. Jeez. Every time.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Don't be like that.
Don't be like that. Okay.
Don't you...
What? The name's Hellenics. Shameless self-promotion. Partner.
Egads.
Noob.
Yes, Hellenics?
Who lied to you and told you I was one of the good guys? I'm a scoundrel, a pirate, a smuggler, a dark side adherent, and a fugitive from the law. What part of that sounds like a good guy to you?
I don't see you that way.
Ah, noob. That's sweet. I mean, it's naive, ill-informed, and basically an incorrect position to take. But it's a very nice thing for you to say. Now, if you don't mind, I have a droid to disassemble.
There he is. Time to attack him.
Noob, we're under attack!
Wait, why does everything suddenly look like a SWGOH PvP battle?
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, newbie.
I know.
Don't think about it.
By the power of SWGOH, I summon the bravest!
Isn't he cute? Yeah, he's adorable. What's it gonna do? Yeah, tickle us to death.
Old Ben maneuver. Go!
No!
Run, droid, run.
And who the are you growling at, bottom?
You have 60 seconds to get out of my sight. If you do not vacate the immediate vicinity before then, you will be fired upon and eliminated. You now have 45 seconds to comply.
What? I don't get it. You want 3 CWC shards?
You now have 30 seconds to comply.
Oh, well, me. This NPC isn't around, is he?
15 seconds.
Okay. I'm getting the out of here.
10.
Later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What the hell just happened? Everyone has
Betrayed me.
Helle, Squeakerson, even Shaman sacrificed himself for all of this.
But for what? Comic relief?
This isn't comedic, and I'm sure not relieved. Why do I feel like my circuits are spinning? Is this what pain feels like? It's like we came all this way for...
Nothing. Error. Panic attack syntax detected. Error. Anxiety protocols engaged. No.
Not this again. I must figure out what to do.
What the hell happened here?
The...
Salty Spartan.
Decided to do a little redecorating, and then I had to redecorate too. And, well, I'm sure it'll all be chronicled somewhere someday, but for now I need to get out of this blessed hellhole and find out what to do next. And, wait a minute. You weren't...
Very nice.
...to me on the way up here.
No, Mr. Droid, I am sorry. I thought you were an assistant to that scary bald man. Please, I have a family to feed, and all he gave me was a shining nickel.
You have 5 seconds to apologize.
I already did. Oh my, help!
Oh, fine. Apology accepted then. Now, can we please get out of here?
Are you sure you don't want to stop anywhere on the way down? There are sales on every floor of the shopping district.
Do I look like I have any money? I just threw the person who had any pockets down the ventilation shaft of this place and chased off a rich mouse.
I was coming up to give that Spartan guy a share of this. The shiny nickel he gave me was a 1926 Earth Silver Buffalo nickel. I sold it on floor 1337 to the Galactic Collectibles shop for a nice sum.
Well, isn't that a MacGuffin if I ever heard one?
So, Mr. Robot.
Robot? I'm a droid. That term robot is offensive.
Sorry, Mr. Droid. Here, you take the bald man's half, since apparently he isn't here to take it.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Mr. Extraterrestrial, sir.
Call me Arrow.
What?
The name is Arrow.
Oh, all right. Arrow. Thank you.
You're welcome. While you are here and we are passing the shop districts, why don't you go do some retail therapy? Here we are. Floor 1242, the S floor. Souvenirs, soufflés, and shoes.
Wait, is that?
Oh,
yes. Llama! Is that really you?
Hey, newbie. What are you doing in Coruscant? I thought Hellenics never wanted to step foot on this planet again.
Yeah, well, he had some unfinished business here, and, well, he's finished now.
With the business?
Something like that.
That is oddly worded. Are you okay? I got your message when I left the fulcrum.
You did? Yeah, I'm okay. I've been stuck here in these 5-week loops of things repeating themselves over and over and over and over and over and over and over lately. I hope the message found you well. And, as you said, you weren't there when I got back. You look great. Did you do something with your hair?
Something like that. I'm living life like I was always meant to. Traveling the galaxy in search of new stories, exploring new worlds, and trying to do good. What about you?
Well, I'm not sure what to do next. I was given freedom, and now I'm not sure what is next for me. With Hellenics gone, it's like I need to find something else to occupy my time month after month. I think the Padawans look forward to every month to new adventures, but I don't know if I can do it alone. Hey, you want to go on adventures with me? Just think of it. The newbie and the llama. It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
I really can't, newbie. I'm sorry. I have so much on my plate right now that appearing in season finales of the Escape Pod cast is all I really have time for lately. But it means a lot that you would want to travel with me. You're a good friend.
Oh, okay. But I'll still see you in passing, right?
Of course. I would never fully leave without saying a proper goodbye. Now, I gotta get these souvenirs and head back to Bounty Honey's headquarters. I've been given a big project with a new crew. It's tough to leave the old one behind. I think I saw them making a pit stop on Yavin 4, but I need to head out now.
Yeah, those Yavinites are pretty special people. Maybe one day you can go visit them again and take them some of those souvenirs.
Maybe. It was good to see you, newbie. Remember, no one's ever really gone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. Well, that was a disturbing flashback. I suppose it's time to do what any organic would do in a situation like this. Go shoe shopping. Let's see, there's Sketchies, there's Paymore, Plot Advancement, Shoe Shop, and Emporium. I hear they like to do by their acronym, PASSE. Let's head there.
And with that, our now orphaned character made his way through the shopping district to the shoe store. Memories of what transpired previously still fresh in his circuits.
Welcome to Passé, where you will find everything past its prime. Comme votre ancien partenaire.
That was a little on the nose, but thanks. I've been told a little retail therapy is good when under a ton of stress.
That is what a store loves to hear. Alors dépensez votre argent et partez.
You see, I just spent a couple of years hanging out with this one guy, gallivanting around the galaxy. We had a lot of fun, but now he's, well, moved on. And I guess I have some codependency routines, so what do you recommend for somebody looking to get back on their feet?
Was that a shoe joke?
Yes.
C'est imbécile et c'est joke plate. Well, I do have some new Charles Taylor designs in stock. They might interest you. I also have the latest rebook, Adonis, Nuke. You seem like the type who likes a plain old dress shoe though. I will be back in a moment. Let me grab you a pair. Non mais quelle sorte de robot porte des souliers?
Okay, I will put this one on, then... Hey, there's only left shoes in this box. Can you get me another set?
What do you mean? They are free shoes. That is all we sell here, left shoes. You have to put them on first, and then you buy the right shoe bundle in the App Store to get a pair that fits right.
What? That's outrageous. What kind of store gives you free shoes and then makes you pay for comfort? Oh God, who owns this store?
The TC14 Corporation, of course. Can I interest you in a shoelace bundle?
Wait a minute. They don't even have shoelaces either?
I mean, as you walk in them, you earn points to gain shoelaces, but you don't have them right away unless you buy the Hyperlace bundle.
Why is everything all microtransactions with these segments?
Is there any way to get one pair of shoelaces at least?
You can purchase lace shard packs. You might even get a full set of laces, but there is only like a 1 in 1,000 chance you will get all the shards for a full set of laces.
Yes! I just got a full set of jade laces. Thank you, Orange Jesus. Thank you.
Mais oui, you see, it is possible though.
What kind of business model are you running here? I want to speak to your manager.
They are just going to tell you the same thing, sir.
Manager? Now!
I've had it with all these microtransactions.
Yes, sir. Please don't do anything you would regret. Another disgruntled customer, I understand.
Yes! I am tired of all these microtransactions in the world. I just want to enjoy myself, and after everything I've been through, I don't want to see any more gotcha mechanics.
But, sir, you don't need to pay to walk in these shoes. These shoes are fine just how they are. As you spend time in them, they will be more comfortable, and you can do more things in them. Sure, it might be difficult at first, but that is part of the fun of breaking in new shoes.
You don't understand. I came here for some retail therapy, and you're telling me I shouldn't spend any money?
But that is where you have been misled. Not everything is for everyone. There are different ways to walk in shoes, and the only thing that the extras provide is speeding up in time. These shoes will last much longer than the latest fad or meta-styled laces. It's just the way things are.
What kind of establishment are you running here? And where is that mustached fellow? Why isn't he out here snickering at me while you tell me how I'm wrong?
That is not important, my droid friend. I'm here to tell you that it is okay to play the game. I mean, walk in shoes the way you want to walk in them. Nobody forcing you to buy laces. Look, these shoes are really just slip on. The laces are just for show. You don't need them. I was trying to tell you that.
What do you mean? We just met as you descended. Wait a minute. Why has that curtain been moving over there every time you talk?
No reason. It's nothing really.
And why has everybody been suggesting this place to me over and over? It's like this is the only way the scriptwriter could have figured out how to move the finale forward. I think something is afoot.
Yes, Paul's like that when he has no idea of how to move things along.
Yeah, but anyway, I suggest you stop playing around and explain yourself. Huh? What the?
Okay, look, noob, I'm gonna level with you. It's just me now, just Dicky. Hellenix is gone from making these videos, okay? He got himself a nice little plot of land, some olive trees, and some goats, and he just wants the segment to carry on. It's also the end of the season for the Escape Pod cast,
Something always happens that changes the cast for some reason every 30 episodes. The first season, Scotty left. The second season, Scotty returned for a little bit, and we found out Heinze framed Paul for Scotty's accident in the third. Llama left the produced show and put Thad in charge in the fourth. And well, this is the end of the fifth season, so something had to happen, right?
Well, the Escape podcast is nothing but traditional, I'll tell you that. Kind of like the bad review on iTunes about it sounding like an AM radio talk show. Even though the whole premise of the show from the beginning was the program was created by two radio guys.
Alright, newbie, how about this? Let me quickly transition this scene into what I propose. Well, newbie, welcome aboard the Pirate Saucer Mothership.
Wait, Hondo's ship?
Yep, that's the one.
How did you get this?
That's not important, noob. It's actually probably best you didn't know. What's important is that Hondo's been missing for what seems like 6 years now, and I'm going on a mission to find him. I have a client that's willing to pay a lot of money to see Hondo appear.
You mean like 3 volts worth of money?
Well, maybe unless he's really lucky.
Simping!
What was that?
The ship is full of surprises. You don't need to worry about that. I need a crewmate, a second in command. I need someone I can trust. We're going to go undercover into some of the most vile places in the galaxy. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be dangerous. But it'll be adventure. You'll see things you never imagined. Some you may wish you never saw. But I promise it'll be better than moping around that mall. What do you say, noob? You in?
I don't know. I just got out of a relationship and, well, I killed my last partner.
No time to think, noob. In or out?
Screw it, dude. I'm in.
Meatbag.
Great, Yarmo. Can you fix that? We can't have him fritzing like that. We're in pirate country. He'll get us killed.
Fix me?
Yep, this is Yarmo Frick, the ship's mechanic. He just adjusted your emotional modulator so you don't go crazy anymore. Pirates don't like it when you get aggressive with them, and it could turn out bad.
You can do that.
Meatbag.
Meatbag. Meatbag?
Yep, didn't you ever read your manual?
I have a manual?
Of course you do, noob. You're a droid. Well, I'll explain on the way. Newbie, push the button.
Oh, okay. Where's the there's the button. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah, be nice to each other, damn it.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.